The NHRA New England Nationals returning this weekend to New England Dragway in New Hampshire. And Austin Prock, good morning and welcome to WDHA.
Thanks for having me.
You are racing in the top fuel dragster category this year. What are you looking forward to this year's event?
We always love going to Epping. It's a track with a lot of history. The crowd's always good there, and I get to see some, old legend drag racers like Al Segrini every time we go up there. So I'm looking forward to that. The weather looks like it's going to be good the last time I looked there. So hopefully there'll be some good fast racing.
Now, one of the things for DHA listeners who aren't familiar with that drag strip, a lot of the racing up in New England used to be on old runways, airport runways. And back in the mid 60s, I think it was, is when a number of drivers got together and along with some shareholders purchased that land and built the racetrack there. Is that common for drag racing for the drivers to take control of the strips?
No, not. I mean, maybe back then when they were pioneering the sport, we're much past that nowadays. There's a lot of big tracks like Bruton Smith owned. So, but my grandfather Tom Prock, he raced in Epping back in the '70s. So it's really cool to two generations later, a Prock still running there.
Yeah. And, I wanted to bring up your family because you just mentioned your grandfather. You have such a history in your family of racing. Austin, when I was a little kid, I wanted a go-kart in the worst way. And what did it have? Like
Yeah.
a 5 horsepower engine in it. So it's
Yep.
the same engine that I'm doing with a lawnmower. And my dad said yes, and mom said no. And my dad said, I can't win this battle. I'm sorry. So
Yeah.
you didn't have to worry about that coming from a family of racers. This was just kind of born for you. But was there a point where you were growing up where your parents said, absolutely not, you can't do that?
No, it's in our blood. It was inevitable that we weren't going to race. So I remember I was probably roughly the same age as you. I was 10 years old and I wanted a quarter midget, which is, a go-kart with a roll cage on it, essentially. But me and my brother both wanted to race. And my dad said, if you guys want to do it, you got to do it on your own. So, because he's always gone on the road racing for a profession. So me and my brother Thomas, we learned at a really young age how to work on race cars, what it takes to maintain them and be competitive and win.
How hands are you with your car?
I'm very, very much so. Probably the most out of any driver in Top Fuel. I still build the superchargers on the race car. I can fabricate, I can machine, I can paint. So any like one-off projects, I'll usually handle myself. But once you get in the groove of the race season, it's hard for me to just jump in and help out. Everybody's got a routine and a strict schedule. So when I'm at the racetrack, I still mix my own fuel. I pack the parachutes, and if anybody gets behind, I can pretty much help fill in on any piece or part of the race car. So I'm just helpful where I can be on race weekends.
Austin Prock, my guest this morning here at 105.5 WDHA Racing this weekend at the NHRA New England Nationals in the top fuel dragster category. You're going speeds of more than 330 miles an hour. You're doing it in like 3.67 seconds. Great athletes are able to slow down a sport. When you're traveling that fast at that speed, in that short amount of time, how do you slow it down?
It's just seat time, being in the race car, getting comfortable with it. You got to become one with the race car, I say. So, you got to pick a really far focal point down track. Typically, I'm looking past the sand trap when I'm going on the racetrack. So, the further you look out, this slows it down for your brain a little bit more. But, as fast as we're accelerating, it's pretty unbelievable that the human brain can slow that down and allow you to actually really drive that race car.
I know one of the other things, in addition to racing, that's in your blood is food. You actually have a degree, a culinary arts degree. Tell our listeners about that.
Yeah. So coming out of high school, my parents, they wanted me to go to college. I had to before I ever could go professionally racing or even attempt that. So coming out of school, I was never much into the book work. I've always wanted to be a race car driver ever since I was, could think. So when I did get out of high school, I had one other passion besides racing, and that's cooking. I love to entertain at my house. I love having people over and whipping them something up and get that smile on their face after they taste really good food. So went to culinary arts school at the Indianapolis School of Arts. It was a 3-year deal, and I actually ended up finishing up on the road working on Courtney Force's car in 2017. I had one online class I had to finish up, so I was working on race cars and doing a little school work on the side, but ended up getting that. And I've worked in a few restaurants, run restaurants, but racing's really what I love to do.
Favorite meal to make, favorite dish?
I can't say one. I can cook a little bit of everything. It typically my best meals I'll dream up while I'm sleeping and wake up in the morning, go hit the grocery store, and that'll be dinner.
Austin Prock competing this weekend, the NHRA New England Nationals at New England Dragway in Epping, New Hampshire. For listeners who want more information, they can go online to nhra.com. Austin, thanks for joining us and good luck this weekend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Can't wait to get out there.